I think when we look at Obama's foreign policy and how much he will actually be able to change in Latin America, you do need to take into account that the president isn't the only person who makes foreign policy. It is the Pentagon, the State Department, Congress, and indirectly US corporations. So, for example, the drive for free trade in Latin America over the last 10 years has really been driven by US corporations. Why? Because US companies need to compete with cheap imports coming from China in the US market, so they want to produce goods cheaply in maquiladoras, assembly plants in Mexico and increasingly Central America, which they can then send back to the US duty-free, and these cheaply produced goods can compete with Chinese imports. So it's really been the US corporations that have pushed that agenda through. George Bush alienated almost all Latin American governments. You know, they were opposed to the war in Iraq. They were the secret rendition flights, torture on Guantanamo Bay, and Latin America, more than any other region in the world, you know, has borne the brunt of US intervention. So they want the hegemonic power to the north to abide by international standards. And they were also, they felt that George Bush, many people in the George Bush administration basically paid little attention to Latin America except to sort of paint it as a weak flank on the war on terror. And they were forever talking about sort of ungoverned spaces and the border with Mexico, that they were worried that terrorists were going to creep through the border, and that actually the lowest point with relations with Mexico came when the President and Congress approved the building of a 700-kilometre wall along the border without even consulting the Mexicans. So most Latin American governments were totally alienated, even the right-wing governments, with George Bush. And so Obama has the opportunity at least to change the tone of relations.